right, everybody. So this was a series where we all, well, I know for a fact, I believed that the Boston Celtics was going to for sure make it out. I for sure thought I thought the Boston Celtics was going to make it out of the first round for a fact. You know what I'm saying? They had Jason Tatum coming back. Jason Tatum looked like Jason Tatum. He had a nice amount of good games, you know, in the playoffs where it was looking like, okay, Tatum got his momentum back, and, you know, the Celtics look like the Celtics again. We know with their two best players being healthy for most of the series. And they even got up 3-1 on the 76ers. And I think the 76ers deserve a lot of credit for coming back 3-1 on this Boston Celtics team. This team has been known to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. And for a team like Philly that had a lot of expectations, and for them to be fit, like they didn't even make the playoffs last season. So for the Philly to, you know, come back 3-1 on the Celtics, I have a lot of respect for Joel Embiid now. I feel like Joel Embiid kind of revived his career. Like Joel Embiid put up to the game like LeBron did when LeBron came back 3-1 on the Warriors. He came up to Game 7 with the wire headphones, with the black shades. Like, yeah, Embiid came in with aura. I'm not gonna lie, Embiid came in with aura, and he played like he had aura too. He was the best player on the court. Embiid had 34 points, shot 46% from the floor. He grabbed 12 rebounds. Embiid was so good at just passing out of those double teams and to getting his teammates involved. He had 6 assists. We had 5 assists in the first half alone. So Embiid was doing his thing. Embiid was a problem. Like, even after the game, Jaylen Brown in his post-game interview was like, we just didn't have an answer for Embiid. Like, he is a big body. Embiid did a good job at, you know, drawing contact, you know, getting to the mid-range. His mid-range game was pretty good. He didn't really shoot that well from the 3, so to have that mid-range, you know, hitting was pretty good for Embiid. Even Joe Mazzulla spoke a little bit about, you know, Embiid, saying that the only thing different about this game was that Embiid was in the game. You know, Embiid was healthy. You know, with Embiid being fit, with Embiid being healthy, it makes Philly a whole different team. You know what I'm saying? That team has their anchor, they have their engine in Embiid. So with him, like I said, having that great game, the whole team kind of just followed suit. They got production out of their whole starting lineup. Sixers started off the game with the 9-0 run. So, like, the Sixers came in with the right mindset. And like I said, just to remind everybody, Tatum was out for Game 7 with the left leg injury. At first, I was a little worried that it was the same leg as the Achilles injury, but it was the opposite leg. So that's I guess that's a little bit of good news that it wasn't the same leg as the same leg that kept him out for a whole year. So that's a good thing. But the Sixers came back, like I said, the Sixers came back down 3-1, and this is the first time in the 76ers franchise history that this team done this. So for 76ers fans, y'all need to be happy. Y'all need to be really congratulating this team. And like Tyrese Maxey said in his post-game interview, y'all need to really appreciate Joel Embiid. I know he's always injured, but he's done a lot for this franchise. He's been real patient. You can really call him the process, you know what I'm saying? Because he finally beat Boston. He finally beat Boston after all these years. So yeah, man. Philly even had Philly's largest lead was 18 points. So like Philly had commanded this game a lot of times, but again and again they kept giving up their lead to Boston. And I was watching the game. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't turn the game on until like second half. And a lot of times Boston was going on runs, and I thought Boston could come back. You know what I'm saying? Boston hit a couple threes. You know, we all know Boston kind of live and die by threes. But when it got down to the second half, I feel like Jaylen Brown especially, he started working towards the mid-range, started trying to draw fouls and get into the paint. They started finding easier looks, and I think that's how they end up storming back. Especially like in the fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown was doing a great job at getting to that mid-range, pump faking, drawing a foul, you know, getting mismatches like Tyrese Maxey on him, getting to the rack, you know. Yeah, the team was doing pretty, like, overall, the Celtics played pretty well as well. Like I said, they just missed their main guy, Tatum. Like, Tatum just, no offense to Tatum, but he just got injured at the wrong time. For him to get injured right before Game 7, it really hurt. Yeah, the 76ers got production out of the whole starting lineup. Maxey also dropped a 30-piece. Like I said, Tyrese Maxey been looking good all season long. Like I said, 30 points, 61% from the floor. 11 rebounds for the 6'1" guard. I believe Tyrese Maxey 6'1". He might be, I don't know how tall he is, but he's a short guard. For him to have 11 rebounds, that's impressive. 7 assists, shot 50% from the 3, 2 for 4. So, like I said, Maxey did a good job at, you know, helping Joel Embiid out, you know, get this victory over the Boston Celtics. Not gonna lie, I was just shocked to see. For one, I was mad to see Tatum injured as an NBA fan, because like I hate injuries. You know, I know injuries is a part of the game, but that injury for the Boston Celtics totally ruined this game for them. The game was still pretty close, and to be honest, I feel like they overachieved in the regular season without having Tatum all year. With them to be the second seed in the East without Tatum, that's pretty impressive. I just would say I honestly just think they underachieved a little bit in the playoffs, because I'm just not used to the Celtics going out in the first round. Like, I'm just not used to it. They just won a championship a couple years ago, and they are always the top of the East every year in the rankings. So, you know, it's different to see them go out in the first round. But, you know, all salute to Philadelphia. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Philly, man. Not gonna lie, I think Philly could be actually a dark horse to not win it all, because I don't think Philly is good enough to beat OKC or, you know, anybody from the West, to be honest. But if they could challenge New York, you know, if they could show that they can get to 5 games with New York, man, you never know. Like I said, Embiid could be the best player against the New York Knicks. So on Monday, the 76ers and the New York Knicks will face off. And like I said, I do believe Joel Embiid could be the best player in that series against the New York Knicks. So I do think the 76ers have a fighting chance. I do think that series could possibly go to 7 if both teams stay healthy. That's my take right now, y'all. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about the series coming up. 76ers versus the Knicks. But going forward for the Boston Celtics, it's a lot of questions in the air. Like, is there going to be roster changes? You know, what's going forward for the Celtics? You know, for the most part, next season, Tatum and Jaylen Brown should be starting the season off healthy. But I just think it's just crazy to me that they traded for a guy like Nikola Vucevic and then they don't play him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't play him in a pivotal game in the playoffs, and you traded Anthony Simons, a guy that I believe was playing very good for your team. You traded Anthony Simons for a guy like Vucevic to not play him at all. I think that's a problem. I think you may need to move Vucevic, get somebody that can, you know, actually give you valuable minutes, because, not gonna lie, that guy Cato off the bench, Cato looked good for the Celtics. Cato had like, what, 12 and 17, something like that. Cato looked good off the bench for the Celtics. High energy, really good on the boards. You know what I'm saying? Just good at, you know, playing that big man role. I think he can be I think he could be their center. I think he could be their starting center, to be honest. Only thing that they did miss against the 76ers is size. Like, Joel Embiid was just dominant. Like, he was getting any shot he wanted, especially, like I said, in the mid-range and down low. The Celtics had a lot of problem stopping the big man. So they might need to go out, you know, and get a rim protecting center like Porzingis. Porzingis was very much missed in this series for the Celtics. So yeah, y'all, that's my little rundown, my little rant on the game yesterday. Like I said, I'm really shocked to see the Celtics get knocked out in this first round, but that's why we love the NBA, right? We love when a series goes the way nobody expected to go, because it's kind of entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's entertaining to see teams we didn't expect make it further than what we expect. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please smash that like button and let me know down below in the comments what you would like to see next. I'll see you in the next video. You dig?